Hi children, today we are going to look at how we add radicals. Last time I showed you how to subtract radicals and also add radicals. But today we are going to look how we work out questions like this, okay? To divide radicals. Now I put a few questions on board here. There are 4 questions here. Later I will add some more. And we will discuss these questions one by one, okay? So let's look at question 1. We have square root 3 over square root 2. Now, to work this out, we need to rationalize the denominators, okay? We rationalize the denominators with the aim to create a perfect square in order to help us, to make it easier for us to solve these kind of problems. So let's start doing this one by one. So we have square root 3 over square root 2, okay, times, we rationalize the denominator, so we take the denominator, we have denominator 2 here, is 2 over 2, square root 2, I should write this properly. Yeah. Now, with this situation, we can multiply them straight away, cross multiply this straight away. So we have square root 3, we have square root here. We multiply, we get square root 6 over square root 2 times square root 2 is square root 4, okay? Okay. We can simplify this. Now, square root 4 is perfect square, so it is 2, okay? Square root 4 is 2. So we have square root 6 over 2, all right? So that's the answer for number 1. Now, let's look at number 2, okay? Square root 2 over square root 6. Again, we rationalize the denominator, okay? So we bring here square root 2 over square root 6 times square root 6 over square root 6, okay? Then we can cross multiply straight away. So we have square root 2 times square root 6 is square root 12 over square root 6 times square root 6 is square root 36. All right. Now, children, when we come to square root like this, we need to simplify, okay? We need to simplify and see if we can go any further, okay? So we bring out square root 12, we put here. So you can use the way I normally show you how to simplify, or you can use factor 3. Okay, so square root 12 equals square root 3 times 4 equals square root 3 times square root 4, okay? Now, we cannot break square root 3, okay? So we just put it here. Square root 3 times square root 4 is 2. It's perfect square. So square root 3 times square root 2 is 2 square root 3. Okay. So we use this way, we get 2 square root 3. Now, let's use factor 3 to see if we can find the same answer. So 12 here, we have 2 here, we have 6, all right? And then we have 2, we have 3. Okay, now we take this together. Remember, this 12 is square root, okay? So we have square root 2 times square root 2 equals square root 4. And then this one is square root 3. So we have, okay, I put it here, square root 4. Remember, this 12 is square root. So this 2 here, square root 2, this 2 here also square root. So square root 2 times square root 2 is square root 4. And then we have square root 3 here. So now square root 3 we cannot break. Okay, so we just leave it like that. Square root 4 is 2. It's perfect square. So 2 times square root 3 equals 2 square root 3. So we use factor 3, we get 2 square root 3. We use this way also, we get 2 square root 3. So our answer is 2 square root 3 over. Now square root of 36 is perfect square. So it comes from, square root 36 comes from 6 square. Okay? Square root 36 comes from 6 square. 6 square is 36. So we have 2 square root 3 over 6. Okay? Let me erase this so we can simplify that. Okay, we can still simplify this square root here. We have 2 square root 3 over 6. Now, we pick up a number with which we can use for both numerator and denominator. Okay, so if we take 2, so this 2, okay, numerator 2 divided by the 2 we take, so 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, so 1 square root 3, but normally we don't write 1, we just write square root 3. And then we go to the denominator. Okay, denominator 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, so we have square root 3 over 3. Okay, that's the answer for number 2. Okay, okay, so children, take good care of how to simplify square root like this. Okay, now we go to number 3, square root 6 over square root 16. Okay, so we bring here square root 6 over square root 16 times square root 16. Oh, sorry. Children, look here. We should not do that way. Now, square root 16 is perfect square. So we don't need to rationalize this. We can go straight away. So we have square root 6. Now, square root 16 is 4. It comes from 4 square. Okay? 4 square is 16. So the answer for number 3 is square root 6 over 4. Okay? That's it. That's the answer for number 3. Now we go to number 4. Okay, number 4 is a little bit different, but we can still fix it. We have 2 over square root 3. Now still we use the same system. We rationalize the denominator. So we put here 2 over square root 3 times square root 3 over square root 3. Okay, we can cross multiply this. So remember there is 1 here, okay children, but we normally don't write it like this one here. This also, we normally don't write it. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 square root 3 over square root 3 times square root 3 is square root 9. Okay, square root 9. Now square root 9 is perfect square. So we have 2 square root 3 over 3. Okay, square root 9 is 3. Comes from 3 square. Okay. Okay. Now we have done 4 numbers. Okay. So number 1, we go through it again. Square root 3 over square root 2 equals square root 3 over square root 2 times square root 2 over square root 2. We rationalize the denominator, okay, in order to help us find perfect square, to make it easier for us to fix the problem. So here we have square root 3 times square root 2 is square root 6. Okay, square root 2 times square root 3 times square root 2 is square root 6. Square root 2 times square root 2 is square root 4. Now square root 4 is perfect square. Square root 4 is 2. So your answer is square root 6 over 2. Okay. That's for number 1. Number 2, we have square root 2 over square root 6 equals, we rationalize the denominator, so square root 2 over square root 6 times square root 6 over square root 6. Now square root 2 times square root 6 is square root 12, and square root 6 times square root 6 is square root 36. Now we need to simplify this. I show you how to simplify square root like this. We can use the normal way I show you, or we can use factor tree, and I show you both ways how to simplify this kind of square root. So we simplify square root 12, we get 2 square root 3, and square root 36 is perfect square, so you can simply fix it. Square root 36 is 6, okay, comes from 6 squared, okay, 6 squared is 36. So your final answer is square root. We simplify this, okay, we have 2 here, we have, so if we cross this, okay, we cross like this, we have 1 time and we have 3 times, okay, so this is 1, we normally don't write it, so we have square root 3, so this is actually 1 square root 3, but we don't write 1, so we just write square root 3 over 3, okay, this 3 comes from here, okay. Now we go to number 3, square root 6 over square root 16 equals square root 6. Now we know that square root 16 is perfect square. It comes from 4 square. So 4 square is 16. So that's the answer. Okay? Square root 16 is 4. So 6 square root 6 over 4. Now number 4, 2 square root 3 equals 2 over square root 3. And we rationalize the denominator. Square root 3 over square root 3 equals, we cross multiply this, there is 1 here, so 2 times 1, 2, okay, and square root 3, 2, so 2 square root 3, square root 3 times square root 3 is square root 9, okay, so we have 2 square root 3 over 3. Now 3 comes from square root 9, it's perfect square, it comes from 3 square is 9, so square root 9 is 3. Alright children, I'm going to erase this in order to bring a few more numbers, okay? I hope you understand this, okay? This is easy. Okay, so we put number 5 here. Number 5, 4 square root over square root 6. We have number 6 here. Square root 5 over 3 square root 8. Then number 7, we have square root 3 over 3 square root 6. Alright, let's look at this. So basically these 3 numbers the same as the previous 4 numbers as well. So we need to use the system, rationalize the denominators in order to find some perfect square to make it easier for us to work out these questions. So let's look at number 5. We have we have 4 over square root 6. So we put here 4 over square root 6 times square root 6 over square root 6. Okay, we rationalize the denominator. So we can cross multiply this straight away. So 4 times square root 6, this is 1 here, so 4 times 1 is 4, and square root 6 we bring over here. Okay, now we have square root 6 times square root 6 is square root 36. Oh, sorry. Okay, square root 36. Okay, then we need to simplify this. Square root 36 is perfect square, so it is 6. Okay, so we have 4 square root 6 over 6. Okay, perfect square. So it's 6. Now, can we simplify this? 4 square root 6 over 6? Yes, we can. We pick up a number with which we can divide with our numerator as well as denominator. So if we take 2, it's a good number, okay? 2 is a good number where we can divide 4 with, we can divide 6 with, okay? So 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So we put 2 square root 6 over 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 2 square root 6 over 3. Can we simplify that? No more, okay? So we just leave it like this. 2 square root 6 over 3. Now we go to number 6, okay? Number 6, square root 5 over 3 square root 8, okay? Now, we also use the same method, okay? We rationalize the denominator. So we put our square root 5 here over 3 square root 8 times square root 8 over square root 8. Now we don't take the 3 because it's outside of the square root, okay? So we just take the 8. Alright, now we look here, we can, with this situation, we can cross multiply straight away. So we have square root 5 times square root 8 is square root 40, okay? Square root 40. Now, 3 square root 8 times square root 8 is 3 times 1 is 3, okay? Square root 8 times square root 8 is square root 64, okay? So we have here square root 40 over 3 square root 64. Now, we need to simplify square root 40, okay? We need to simplify it. So let's use factor 3, okay? Factor 3, so we use 40 here, okay? Now if we put 2 here, then here is 20. Now here we have 4. Oh. Here we have 5, here we have 4. Okay, now we keep going with this one. So this is 2, 2. Okay, 2 and 2. Okay. Now we come to this 3 of factor 3 of 40. We get 2, 5, 2, 2. Okay. Now we pick up these two numbers. Remember that this 40 is under square root. This one here. Okay. This 40 is under square root. So we take these two here because they are the same. We put them together, and then here we have 2 and 5. Remember this under square root. So square root 2 times square root 5 equals square root 10. Okay, now here square root 2 times square root 2 is square root 4. Okay, so what we have here is square root 10 times square root 4. Now we cannot break square root 10. I mean, we can break it, but we go back here again. So we just leave it like that. Okay, we just leave square root 10 like that. So we put here square root 10 times. Now square root 4 is perfect square. Okay, square root 4 is perfect square. Now square root 4 is 2. It comes from 2 square. Okay, now square root 10 times 2 equals 2 square root 10. Okay, so 2 square root 10, 2 square root 10 is the simple. When we simplify square root 40, we get 2 square root 10. Okay, now we look here. Okay, we need to simplify this also. So square root 64 is perfect square. Okay, perfect square. It comes from 8 square. 8 times 8 is 64. So we have here 3 times 8. Okay, we still have to use this one. 3 must go there. So square root 64 is 8. So 3 times 8. Okay. 3 times 8 is, so we put here, okay? So 2 square root 10 over 24. 3 times 8 is 24. Can we still simplify this? Yes. We can go on, okay? We have 2 here, we have 24 here. Okay, if we take 2, then this one becomes 1. So 1 square root 10. So we just write square root 10 because we normally don't write 1, okay? So, and this one, 24 divided by 2 is 12. So, the final answer is square root 10 over 12, okay? Square root 10 over 12 is your final answer for number 6. Number 6. Number 7 not yet, okay? I'm going to erase this so we have more space to work on number 7, okay? Right. So that is number 6. Number 6 is done. Now we look at number 7, okay? Number 7. Square root 3 over 3 square root 6. We use the same method, okay? We rationalize the denominator. So we put here square root 3 over 3 square root 6 times square root 6 over square root 6. Okay? We bring here, we bring down here. So square root 3 times square root 6 is square root 18. Okay? Over 3 times 1 here is 3. Okay? And 6 square root 6 times square root 6 is square root 36. Okay? So now we have square root 18 over 3 square root 6. Now we need to simplify this one here. Square root 18 and square root 36. So let's take square root 18 and we put there. We use factor 3. So we have 2, we have 9 here, we have 3. Okay? Remember, 18 is under square root. It's square root 18. So all the numbers we have here also square root. So we have here square root times square root 3. Okay, children? Square root 2 times square root 3. Remember, 18 is square root. Okay? It's here. 18 is under square root. So all these numbers also square root. So square root 2 times square root 3 is square root 6. Oh, no, we don't do that way. We take numbers that are the same. Sorry. We take numbers that are the same. Square root 2, we put here, times. We take these two together because they are the same. We take them together in order to create perfect square, okay? So square root 3 times square root 3 is square root 9, okay? Now, we cannot break square root 2, so we just leave it like that. So square root 2 times square root 9 is perfect square, okay? Is 3, comes from 3 square, okay? So it is 3. So square root 2 times 3 equals, square root 2 times 3 equals 3 square root 2, okay? So your answer for square root 18 is 3 square root 2 over, now here, square root 36 is perfect square, okay? Square root 36 is perfect square. So square root 36 is 6. Now we bring here our 3, so 3 times 6. Where does 3 come from? 3 comes from this one here, this 3 here, and 6 from square root 36. Okay, it's perfect square, so this is 6 here. So we still continue. So we have 3 square root 2 over 3 times 6 is 18. Okay. Can we simplify this? Yeah, I think we need to erase. We can erase this. Yeah, this if we look at factors, 18 and 3 are in the line. Okay, factors. 3 is factor of 18 because 18 divided by 3 is 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 3 times 6 is 18. So we can simplify this. So if we take 3, we take 3. We divide 3 divided by 3 is 1. So we have 1 square root 2. So square root 2 here. We normally don't write 1, so we just write square root 2 here over 18 divided by 3 is 6. So your final answer for number 7 is square root 2 over 6. Okay? That's the final answer. Alright, children, let's look at this quickly one more time from number 5. So number 5, we have 4 over square root 6 equals, we rationalize the denominator. So for 4 over square root 6 times square root 6 over square root 6. Now, 4 times 1 is 4 square root 6. So 4 square root 6 times square root 6 is square root 36. Now we know square root 36 is perfect square, so it is 6 here. So 4 square root 6 over 6. Now we simplify this. We have 4 and 6 here. We can simplify. We use 2. 2 is good number to simplify this here. Okay, 4 and 6. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 2 square root 6 over 3. Okay, that's your answer for number 5. Now we look at number 6. Square root 5 over 3 square root 8 equals, again we rationalize the denominator. Yeah, square root 5 over 3 square root 8 times square root 8 over square root 8. Now we have here square root 5 times square root 8 is square root 40. Okay, and 3 square root 8 times square root 8 is 3 square root 64. Okay, 8 times 8 is 64. Square root is 1 here, 3 here, 1 here. 3 times 1 is 3. So we have 3 square root 64. Now we simplify square root 40. We get 2 square root 10. Okay, I show you how to simplify this, okay, before, okay, and I hope you still remember it. Now, we have here 3 square root 64. Now, 64, as we know, it is perfect square. So square root 64 is 8. Now, so we have 8 here, so 3 times 8, okay? This 3 here, we put here, and 8 from here, so we put here. 3 times 8 is 24. So here we have 2 square root 10 is here, 2 square root 10, we put here, 2 square root 10 over 24. Now, we simplify this, okay? We simplify, we pick up a number with which we can divide with numerator as well as denominator. So we take 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So 1 square root 10. But we don't write 1. We just write square root 10 here. So square root 10. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So your final answer for number 6 is square root 10 over 12. Okay? Then we go to number 7. Square root 3 over 3 square root 6 equals, we rationalize the denominator. So we have square root 3 over 3 square root 6 times square root 6 over square root 6. So we have here square root 3 times square root 6 is square root 18. Okay, we put down here because I don't think we have space there to put that. So we put here. Then 3 square root 6 times square root 6 is 3 square root 36. Okay, we need to simplify this here, square root 18 and square root 36. And I'll show you the way how to use the normal way as I show you. all the time, or we use factor 3, okay, to simplify this. So we got 3 square root 2. After simplification, we got 3 square root 2, and this one here, square root 36 is perfect square, so we have 6. So 3 times 6, okay? Then 3 square root equals 3 square root 2 over square root, 3 square root 2 over 18. 18 comes from here, 3 times 6, okay? Now, we know that the factor of 18 is also 3, okay? Factor of 18 is 3 because 18 divided by 3 is 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 3 times 6 is 18. So we use 3 to divide with 3 here and also with 18, with numerator, with denominator. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. So 1 square root 2 over 18 divided by 3 is 6. So square root 2, 1 square root 2 over 6. That is your final answer. Okay, children, I hope with this simple explanation of how to divide the square roots and simplify the square roots like these numbers here, big numbers here, how to simplify them, I show you how to do the work. And also we rationalize the denominators like what we have here in order to find perfect square to make it easier for us to solve the problems. Okay, children, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and press the like button. Thank you.